Today I'm here with some tea content. This is my kettle. It has the ability to change temperature. Right now it's rewarming, that's why it's green, so I'm going to turn that off. When it's clear or blue, that means that it's not running. I set it to oolong. I'm in Colorado, so I never go all the way to boiling, but you can change the temperature, and it tells you that's herbal or black tea is boiling. Water boils at a much lower temperature here in Colorado because we're special that way. Oops. What was the other one? Oh, boil. Okay. And then back to the bottom, this is the lowest temperature, is delicate. Oops, sorry. Then we go to green tea. And then white tea. And then oolong. That's where I usually heat it, what I usually heat it to, regardless of what type of tea I'm having, unless it is a white tea. I don't want it that hot. Here are some of my tools. A spoon and a little holder. Put your spoon. This is essential if you're doing loose leaf tea. I can demonstrate that later. And this is if you're using a tea bag. Oh, I'll demonstrate this because I just made my tea. That is a tea bag, not loose leaf. All right. So I go ahead and I grab that bag and I can squeeze it. I can squeeze it out. I'm not doing it very well because I'm doing it one-handed, but squeeze out that tea bag, and then I can actually, and I'll show you which tea this is, and then I put it back on there because it's always a little bit moist. It is this tea right here. I have to order this tea special because it's a product of Northern Ireland. I currently order it from teadog.com. I found a couple other sites, but they consistently have it. This is a box of 160. I find it more economical to buy in the larger boxes. Sometimes they have a box of 400, and then that's my first choice. All right, over here, that's my mixer. That's obviously not it. Now this, I'm going to take this out. This is a separate piece. This was a gift from my kids. That's so you can do loose leaf tea straight in your cup or your mug. And you just put it in there, and then it infuses. All right. This is a beautiful glass teapot that I broke the lid on, and that's why this lid fits, and well, loosely fits. I mean, it actually covers it up, so that's why I keep that in there, and it's just good for storage to keep all my stuff in there together while I'm not using that. But that's for loose leaf tea as well. You can also do where is it? One of these, a tea balloon. So it's basically a little ball that then becomes a flower. Maybe I'll demonstrate that too. I'll add that content later. All right, I have not tried this yet. This is an automatic stirring cup, so that's more like if you are mixing something in it. This is I made it out of a cardboard box. Tea and coffee, but really it's pretty much tea. My hubby and stepdaughters drink coffee, but I pretty much drink tea. And since it's cardboard that I just painted, it's not in the best shape. Here are a bunch of other little beautiful, oh, there's the teapot my daughter got me at Christmas. Okay, pull this out. My daughter found this. So if you're going to make proper tea, you would put your loose leaf tea inside, put in your boiling water, let it steep with the lid, and then when you pour it out, you're going to put this on top of your mug. Let me grab a mug. Let's grab this mug because it's cute, this Winnie the Pooh mug. And we would put that on there, and then we would pour this out, and all of the tea leaves that wanted to come out would come out and go into that filter. Now I even use this when I use an infuser, and these teapots are designed that you don't need to use an infuser. All right, let's talk about what else is in here. I do have some interesting items. All right, this I pulled out. This is a tea glass from Morocco when my husband went to Morocco. I do not believe I have any more Moroccan tea. However, I do have the box. Oh, no, where's the box? It was up here. Okay, this whole cabinet is tea and my stevia. And then the True Lemon, if I'm going to do some plain black tea, I like the lemon. Yeah, so that's my tea. You can see all different types. I'll show you this tea. I was talking about the Moroccan tea. This is from a student. This is from China. He was from China, and he gave this to me. I don't have the heart to use it. So it's been here for a while. I haven't been a teacher for, this is my fifth school year that I haven't been a teacher. I had to retire because of my grades. Anyway, so this is tea straight actually from China, from one of my students that was from there. I'm going to stop this film. Well, actually, I'm going to finish the little cabinet. We'll come back to this and everything that's in there in a minute. All right, so back down to here. The tea that came from Morocco was in this really cool box, and I wish I knew what the heck I did with it. Because it was called bullet tea, and I wasn't sure what to think of that. But it was like, they literally looked like little tiny bullets, but they were tea. And then once you heated it, it like expanded out and looked like you think of tea leaves. It was excellent tea. Black tea, I don't think they had any green tea. This is my fancy stirrer. This is normally for alcoholic beverages. That's not what I use it for. I use it for my tea because I use everything for my tea. All right, so this mug I had to unscrew. I wanted to show you. It's thermal too. So you put your loose leaf tea in there, and then you put this in sort of like a French press, right? You push that, you plunge it down. I would not plunge it down all the way. Screw on the cap, let it steep. See how I've about halfway up, you could leave it up further. Let your tea steep and expand. And then when you're ready to drink it, you just plunge that down and it squeezes it out. And then you can drink straight from this cup. So this one's cool. This is another part of my very cool kettle. I'll pause for a sec. Okay, so how this piece works is you put this black part slides off like that. Put your tea in there. Slide that piece back on. This is just from Target, this kettle. And then you drop that in there after you have heated your water. Obviously, I would want more water in there for that because I've already made my tea. That's why there's not very much water. And then it would just steep your tea right in there. And again, even though it's in an infuser, I would go ahead and use that on top of my mug when I'm pouring it into that. All right, so that's another one of my gadgets, as Linda Snyder would call it. I have lots of tea gadgets, as you can see, because I drink a lot of tea. All right, that's another one of those. That's a long story. Oh, no, that one had tea in it. Well, oh well. It is what it is. You got to see me make a mess. That wouldn't be the first time. All right, that's just a, what do you call them? I said it earlier, a French press, but the piece is missing, so I just store it in there. This is a large version. It's also a bigger mesh, so I don't use this one unless I've got big tea leaves. I usually use this one, but sometimes your tea leaves are very large, and so this is sufficient, and it's nice for a whole pot of tea. And I will have to clean that up. I really thought I cleaned this out. That's all right. All right, you can see. Oh, that's one of my favorite teas. That's why that's there. I thought it was cute to decorate the inside. All right, back here we have a teapot that has the infuser inside as well. And what you're seeing underneath is not in the pot. It's just because it's glass. There. All right, so your teapot that has the infuser right in there, and then close the lid, and then steep your tea. So I have lots of ways to deal with my loose leaf tea. These spoons are great. Sorry about my fingers there. These spoons are great. The silver one tells you how much loose leaf tea to make for a pot about that size, small pot. And this is for a cup, a cuppa. All right. My daughter got me these from, I think from her trip to Europe, but they're honey spoons. So that's honey. And then you just would stick it in there and stir it. So that's lots of fun. And another way to steep your tea in your cup is just in that spoon. Again, works good as long as they're not little tiny particles. And then of course a tea ball. This came with something and I haven't used it yet because I have so many other options. Oh, this one. Let's look at this one. All right. This, you put your loose leaf tea inside, and it's pretty stained. And then you steep it. You pour the hot water in there. You steep it. And then, let me put it on this mug. You put it on the mug after it's steeped, and it drains. It drains right in there. Just drains into your mug. So all of the tea leaves are there. You don't need a filter. Just straight into your mug. So those are my gadgets. I'll come back and talk about the different teas in a bit after I clean up my mess. Okay, so there's a couple gadgets here I forgot to talk about. This being one of my absolute favorites. This is a little trash can. And so I can just keep it here so I can put my miscellaneous tea trash in there. I do not put my tea leaves in there. I put my tea leaves in my compost machine. So that's different. This is from Target, and I love this thing. Of course, I can't get it open. Hold on. Okay, so it comes in this little container, and then you just push it, and it stirs. It needs a new battery. That's why it looks kind of wonky, but just rinse it off easily, and then it's a little tea stained because, you know, I used it for tea. So that's the last of the gadgets, I think. I showed you my tea cabinet. So let's talk about the tea I have in my cabinet. Start here. This is a rooibos chai. This is from a company called NT. I don't know if those are just in Colorado or if they're everywhere, but this is a rooibos. You can see the things that are in that. So that's a herbal tea. That's no caffeine. This is from my stepdaughter in California, from Zen's Tea House. This Hawaiian fruit tea is the red tea that stained my blanket that I found the stain remover for. This I just got from Sprouts. It's turmeric tonic. This is kind of, I would almost say spicy. I think that's the ginger. But this is really nice. If you need turmeric in your diet, which I do. I know some people can't have turmeric in their diet. So. All right, this is one of my favorites. Right here. All right. Simpson and Vale. This one's the Yellowstone. I bought a whole bag of Yellowstone because it is my favorite. It is a black tea. They have others, but it has the prickly pear, safflower, the blue cornflower petals. So if you add lemon, it will change color. Strawberry pieces, oat straw, and bergamot, which I like Earl Grey. So bergamot is in Earl Grey. It's what makes Earl Grey taste like Earl Grey. But I'll go ahead and grab over here. Let me move that for a sec. I'm going to grab this. This is how it was from Cinnamon Stitches talking about it. Cinnamon Stitches talked about this pack, the National Park tea gift box. So I've had some of them. I've given some of them to my children, and then I bought a whole pack of Yellowstone. These are the ones I still have left. I have Great Smoky Mountains, Mount Zion. They're all specific kind of to the area they're from. National Park, Glacier National Park, Joshua Tree. Those are the ones I haven't tried yet. Oh, one more. And the Grand Canyon I haven't tried yet. I'm looking here. Let me see. I thought I bought a bag of Rocky Mountain, but maybe I already finished it. I think I did. I had a whole bag of the Rocky Mountain National Park as well because it has kind of a raspberry flavor to it. It's very nice. This was from my daughter. This is all loose tea. The traditional breakfast, traditional Earl Grey, and traditional afternoon tea. I think she said she got that at World Market. You can see I have a lot of Celestial Seasonings tea. That's because that's here. They have, this is Madagascar Vanilla. They have several rooibos teas, but usually you have to order that straight from their website or go to the plant in Boulder, Colorado. Victorian Earl Grey. This is one of my favorite Earl Greys. This is Epicure tea, which you can't get that anymore. Oh, this is one of my favorite celestial seasonings. Let me pull, I'll actually pull this out while it all comes down. This is another, so like I said, I try to have turmeric any way I can get it. So the Tazo, I don't know, Turmeric Bliss. I didn't like this one, so I'm not even going to talk about that one. I got that on clearance. Don't do that. Well, you can, but you're taking a chance. This is one of my favorites, and it was on clearance, so I'm like, heck yeah. The Caramel Apple Dream is wonderful tea. All right, in here. Okay, I'm going to have quite the mess to clean up, huh? Oh, this is Epicure tea. Their company is currently not operational, but will be again this summer. If they are, once they're operational again, if I can get these products again, I will, because I love the pink lemonade tea a lot. It's wonderful. This is a product. Sorry, that was crooked. I don't know if you've ever heard of tea drops, but you literally take the little packet, pull this down in this beautiful disaster of tea. You take one of these little pots, you open it up, you drop it in, and it dissolves. So it's like instant tea, but it's not instant tea. It's better than that. It has sugar added usually, whatever. They do also have latte types, so they have a powdered milk with it. This is Assam tea. Actually, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Black Assam. I got this from Imperfect or Misfits, it's called some places, because it was a decent price. I believe it is a woman-owned business, but don't quote me on that. I'm not positive on that. This some Tazo organic mint. I mix that tea with this tea. Ginger peach turmeric. Again, I told you I put the turmeric in anywhere I can, but I put that with the mint and then mix it with lemonade or my Just Lemon, which is that right there, or True Lemon. All right, this tea is from a little tea shop in Golden, Colorado. Can't remember the name of it. Old Barrel, that's it. But prickly pear is I love prickly pear tea. It's wonderful. This is a prickly pear rooibos. So I know it's hard to read that word rooibos under the prickly pear. This is just from my local grocery store, the Lavender Earl Grey. Very nice. This is a Celestial Seasonings line that they have, the Tea Well. So they have a bunch of wellness teas, and it says on the front what is in there and what it helps you with. So this has green rooibos, which I never knew there was, elderberry, panax, ginseng, and dandelion root. So it has all the things. I like this with creamer, and then it's sort of like chai. Honey, because you can't have enough honey. That's my nanberry that I talked about in the other part. This is a tea bloom. It's a flowering tea. So when you put it in the bottom, it's a little pod, basically. Sort of like the tea drops, but it's a little pod, and then it blooms, and it's a flower. It's an actual flower that it's tea. This company is an online company, a Sipology. This is really interesting. They have, I don't know if they have this anymore. You steep it in cold water, and then it actually, like, legit relieves your cough. I don't understand how. It's wild. This is one of my favorite teas, sweet and spicy. I just bought a 4-pack. I like to add creamer to this. I don't have to add any sweetener to it. That's why I like that a lot. And I use stevia. These are miscellaneous. That's one of my favorites, but it's the last one I have, so it's just over here until I decide I'm going to have it. This teapot. I'm going to actually move that because that needs to be in a different place altogether. All right, and then my stevia. And then these are my tea bags. So I have, for the loose leaf tea, I do also have bags. And the reason I do that, so that company I was saying, Sipology, they have their steeping sacks too. The reason you do that is then you don't have to filter it with the little filter piece like this. You don't have to be concerned because it's in the tea bag. And the white ones, These are reusable. The brown ones are more like paper and I wouldn't reuse them, but the white ones are reusable. All right, there's my celestial seasonings, lots and lots. This, my daughter brought me. This is a funny story. My daughter brought me this from Canada. David's Tea is a Canadian company. And this is what got her pulled over by TSA because obviously, you know, tea. Just this one can. I think it's funny. Anyway, it's really, really incredibly yummy tea. And she knows I like the turmeric teas. And there is more celestial seasonings. I'm a big fan of celestial seasonings. I have lots of different flavors. Over here I have my cold brew. Sorry, iced. It's not cold brew, it's iced. Or is it cold brew? I don't remember. Yeah, it's cold brew. So they have several flavors of cold brew. I think this one's cold brew too. That one's really nice. They're very flavored. But yes, that is a very interesting tea. I don't know how to describe it even. Christmas in Paris is probably the correct name. And then that's just mulling spices. And then I use the True Lemon. I get the big pack. And then here is all my loose tea. All of this is from Sipology. They have everything from cold brew, pre-sweetened with stevia teas, to this one is one of my favorites. This raspberry cream Earl Grey is amazing. And then they have things like this. This is herbal. Magical Unicorn Kisses. It's a very, I can't even describe the flavor. It's very fruity, very yummy. It's all fruit. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, we already saw my teapots and different things up there. We saw the tea from China. But yes, you can see Celestial Seasonings is my tea bag choice generally. And then this Sipology is where I've gotten most of my loose leaf tea. But that's my tea choices. And yeah, be careful when you go to visit Canada and then you come back. TSA might think this is a problem. Just so you know. Anyway, that's my tea stuff for International Tea Day. Oh, since it's International Tea Day, I'll mention this. This is called Golden Syrup. This is something from the UK. I do not believe I've ever seen it here in America. It's not like honey. It's not like syrup. It's not like our maple syrup. It's not like corn syrup. I don't know how to describe the flavor, but that's just fun. And yeah, so that's what's in my tea cabinet right now. And this is why everybody teases me that I have a lot of tea. Back there is I liked the box a lot. So that's an advent calendar of teas, loose teas. They were little tins like this. So I have a couple of them still that I didn't use yet. Anyway, that's all the tea. Sorry, it's not piping hot. Hi there. I wanted to finish my tea video by talking about the Spoonie Stitcher, Shannon. She's the one who told me about International Tea Day being on April 21st. So I wanted to make sure to mention her. She will be tagged. Please go follow her and check her out. She also has some tea, not some tea, but some tea, I think tea purchases that she did that should be on her channel today. So she's going to be linked below. Please check her out. Also, I wanted to talk about, so yesterday, when you're seeing this, it'll be yesterday because this is Monday that I'm putting this video out. Sunday, the day before, happened to be Easter. My family, I convinced them to do a high tea. It's not a true high tea because we didn't have the little cucumber sandwiches and the scones. But what we did have was little chicken salad sliders, deviled eggs because, you know, or whatever you call them, because it was Easter. Got to have the eggs, right? Tomato cucumber salad, since we didn't have the cucumber sandwiches. Then what I made was a cranberry lemon loaf, bread, and an apple spice bread, and then thumbprint cookies with lingonberry jam, which is I got from IKEA. There's an IKEA here close to where I live. And lingonberry is a Swedish berry, from what I understand. And the flavor of it is somewhere between a raspberry and a strawberry. I quite enjoy lingonberry. Anyway, that's what we did for high tea. And then I brought you saw a lot of what I brought. The tea that everybody wanted was that Yellowstone National Park tea from Simpson and Vale. I will link Simpson and Vale. I will link Celestial Seasonings. And I will link Sipology and David's Tea. But it's Canadian, so unless they have an American distribution center, there could be tariffs and stuff. So just be aware on that David's tea. Make sure you're checking that out. And ooh, that could be true with Sipology too. That might be a Canadian product as well. But one of my viewers, Going Green Mom, mentioned that Vitacost also has tea. So I might find a link and put that in there too. Loose leaf tea. I will also put a link. I will actually do this as an Amazon affiliate link for those reusable tea bags, because I find them, if you're going to do loose leaf tea, they're a really good way to do it. And that's what I wanted to say. First of all, go follow Spoonie Stitcher and enjoy some tea, which at the moment I don't have any tea up here. What the heck? But I did have high tea for Easter with my family, and they all thought it was so much fun. And the tea they chose was the Yellowstone National Park tea from Simpson and Vale, which Simpson and Vale is an American company. So they will be linked below. And thanks so much for stopping by. And sorry I didn't have any piping hot tea, any hot goss. Anyway, see you all later. Enjoy your tea day.